Let's take a moment and we'll learn a little bit about the initial and the system setup mode on Pioneer's DEH-S1000UB. So right now I'm on the AM/FM source, but I want to switch the receiver off. So I'm going to press and hold the source key for a couple of seconds, and that will switch the in-dash receiver off. I could also have the clock displayed right now. That's fine as long as the in-dash receiver is switched off. Now I'm going to press in on the volume control, and we have two menus that are available here with the system turned off. We have the initial menu and we have the system menu. Let's start off with the initial menu and we'll press enter there. Now this shows me my speaker and pre-out mode. So this system has 4 sets of speaker outputs, front and rear outputs, and it also has 1 set of RCA outputs for operating external amplifiers, and we can set up the outputs this way. We'll press in on the volume control here, and the first setting we have says rear and subwoofer. So this means that the rear speaker outputs are set to full range output, and the RCA output is set to subwoofer output. So that's full range for the rear speakers and subwoofer for the RCA. If I roll over with the volume control, I can change those rear speaker outputs to be subwoofer output, and the RCA output is still a subwoofer output as well. So the rear speakers here, rear speaker outputs are capable of operating a small subwoofer directly connected to the speaker outputs if you want. You could use this setting for that rear speaker output, and of course the RCA output is still set to subwoofer out. If I roll over to the next setting, we have both the rear speaker output and the RCA output are set to full range output here. So rear speaker output full range, RCA output full range. Now if I roll over one more time, I come back around to the original setting, which is the rear speaker outputs set to full range and the RCA outputs set to subwoofer. Now I'm going to hit the arrow back and let's see, roll over to the next setting, which is software update. Occasionally a software update or a firmware update will be available from Pioneer Electronics, so check out pioneerelectronics.com. If there is a software update available for your particular in-dash receiver, you'll use a USB thumb drive to install that software update, and you'll insert it right here. If I press in on the volume control here, I can check the system information for this particular in-dash receiver. We'll press it again, and this tells me we're on version 08.4. You can check that against the available software versions available on pioneerelectronics.com. Let's go back and roll over to the next setting, which is the system update. If we're going to do an update, that update will be started right here. There is no update available. If we had an update, it would be put in through the USB thumb drive right here. Now let's press the go back button and roll over to the next setting, which takes us to system reset. If you want to do a complete reset on the system, take it back to its factory settings, you can do that right here. You'll just need to confirm yes. I'm going to go back and roll over to the next setting, which is back around to our speaker and pre-out mode. Now I'm going to go back again, and we'll roll over to the system menu, and we'll press enter. First thing we see is the clock set, and for a full video showing you how to set and display the clock, check out the clock setting video. We'll roll over to the next setting here, which is changing our clock from 12 hours to 24-hour mode. We can do that by touching in on the volume control. Let's roll ahead. This is our auxiliary input being switched on. Now what this means is the auxiliary input right here is switched on and available in our source setting. So for right now, I'm going to switch the auxiliary input off. All right, so auxiliary input is off, and I'm going to touch the source button here. So you can see that I have radio available to me, and that's it. When I touch the source key, nothing else is available. It won't go to the auxiliary input. I don't have a CD in the system right now, and I don't have a USB thumb drive in the system, so AM/FM is the only source available. That's because I switched the auxiliary off. Let's go back to those settings now. So I need to switch the in-dash receiver off again. There, it's switched off and I'm displaying the clock on the screen. I'm going to press in on the volume control. I'm back to system, press in again. So here's auxiliary. I want to switch auxiliary on because I like to use auxiliary on a regular basis. And now when I touch my source key, you'll see that the radio is available and auxiliary is available. So we're going to go back there and press press and hold again to switch that off and go back into that setup menu. Let's roll over to the next setting, which is our Android wired connection. And if you are an Android phone user and you would like to connect your phone to this system to play back music or to use Pioneer's ARC app, there's a full video on the ARC app available. Please be sure to check out that ARC app video. So for Android wired connections here, we're going to press enter, and we have app control or we have memory. So if you want to play back music that is stored on your phone, you want to use the memory function here. If you would like to use Pioneer's ARC app, you want to be sure to choose the app control setting here, and your wired connection to your Android phone will allow you to use the ARC app. So we'll press enter there and roll over to the next setting, which is to prompt the app to automatically switch on. We can choose to switch that on or off right here. For right now, we're going to keep that switched on, and that will automatically prompt the app to start the ARC app when you plug in your Android phone. You may also need to press and hold the volume control depending on your particular device. Let's roll over to the next setting, which is USB auto on, and we can choose to switch this on or off. Now, what USB auto on means is that when I plug something into USB, for example, a USB thumb drive, the source will automatically switch to USB and begin to play a track. It also means that if I plug in my phone through USB, it'll automatically switch to the ARC app or switch to the phone and begin to play a track. If you don't want that to happen, if you just want to plug your phone in and charge your phone, you can do that too. Just switch the USB auto to off. You can still change to that source, the USB source, whenever you want, but it won't automatically switch to the USB source if you have USB auto switched off. For right now, I'm going to use USB auto switched on. Let's roll over to the next setting, which is back around to the clock set settings. And when you're done making your adjustments here, you can just press the source button to switch on the in-dash receiver.